Hi, I'm so excited to be here with you today. This is my first time recording video. I do record out of the clouds on video with my guests, but generally we only collect snippets where we record the whole thing and then I just cut out snippets to be able to publish on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and other places. So this is brand new for me, a little bit outside my comfort zone. But then again, it has been 5 years since I launched Out of the Clouds, and I wanted to mark this occasion and to thank you and to celebrate as well. I have a tendency to get very caught up in momentum, which, with a lot of things going on at the moment, it may just be that I forget to stop and take the time to appreciate that I have gone through quite a lot in the past 5 years with this particular podcast project, and to tell you the story of how I went from then to now. But first, and without further ado, I want to thank you. I want to thank you if you've listened to any of my episodes. I want to thank you if you've shared them with friends, if you were a guest, of course, if you offered some reviews on Apple Podcasts or commented on Spotify, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. It is a deeply personal project, as I'm sure that you understand. Out of the Clouds was born out of my love for podcast as a medium. But before I came to the idea of using my voice for a podcast, I started my early career as a singer. And I think that it's because I had a relationship to a microphone years ago, though it was, a different but a very intimate and profound relationship to my voice, that I felt this sense that perhaps I could do it, that I could dare to grab a microphone, to set myself up in the comfort of my home office and entertain deep conversations with friends, with people who I admire, perhaps outside of my network, but who were interested in exploring their life, their journey, their work with me, and to talk about this space of life and business and work, and to explore all of it in this context. So it is because I had this earlier relationship with my instrument, with this the organ that is situated here in my throat, that I dared purchase this beautiful piece of machinery and to set up and to get started. I must say, the first episode, which I love so much still, that I recorded in March or April 2020 with my dear friend, the yoga teacher Dina Relov. I think I edited it for 2 months. That's the truth. Now, I had completed the course, which at the time I think was called the Podcast Fellowship with Seth Godin, just around the time before COVID started. So I had the great benefit, the incredible pleasure to be surrounded by other people who wanted to bring a podcast out into the world. And they really provided me with not just an on-ramp, because I did have a lot of suggestions and support around tech, which saved me a great deal of time. I also had this platform to explore and mirror and discuss what the name and the concept was going to be, although I was already pretty sure as to most of that. The name Out of the Clouds, as you may not know, was inspired by a song by the singer-songwriter Emily King that I'd listened to a number of times that spring. It's a song I never really understood the lyrics of. I think that's why it felt enticing, because it was mysterious and there was room for me to bring my own meaning onto it. It also features like a very dreamy introduction. So that's how this came to be, that the podcast was named Out of the Clouds. So it's almost 100 interviews now since the beginning. You may have noticed, if you follow me regularly, that I am not following a particularly precise schedule. And this goes against what most people recommend. Most experts in podcasts will tell you that you have to publish every week or every 2 weeks on the same day at the same time. And I know they are right. Absolutely, it would probably impact the numbers. But I do way more than Out of the Clouds. I have a number of other projects that I'm developing. And I realize that because it is such a personal offering, that it makes no sense pushing myself and putting myself under pressure to deliver at a specific date when I don't believe that the impact will be that big on you, the listener. Believe that my offering and that of my guests will always be of the highest level because we spend the required amount of time, whether it's me in the research process before I interview my guest. We spend 1 or 2 hours together, and I then sit with the product, with the raw audio, to make it into what I hope is going to be the best of our conversation, so that you know it's been lightly and yet carefully edited to bring the best of our conversation to the air. Now, for what's going to come in the future, I already have 3 interviews lined up in July. And it's funny, I am also moving with the availability of the people I want to talk to. In the past year, particularly, I've been approached by a number of podcast agents, some of whom are more diligent in their research than others. And while I appreciate the outreach from them, and I felt relatively smug, I've made it far enough that people are pitching me actively for guests on the show. I am actually letting myself be led by my heart and my mind, and only accepting to interview people who I really deeply want to speak with and who I believe that you want to hear about. What else is there to say? I am incredibly grateful and hopeful. Now we've reached the 5-year mark. I am projecting into the future, which feels very strange because that will bring us to 2030. And I can't quite tell you what I'm hoping for in terms of what I'd like to achieve for the show. I think that I want to continue to have deeply meaningful conversations with guests that are inspiring, exciting, thoughtful, creative, innovative, generous. I am hoping to bring more and more people who have values that align with mine in terms of wanting to have a positive impact on the world or on their direct community. And I'm excited about hearing about you, hopefully, as the show develops. I will try to spend a little bit more time promoting it as well. That is not where my heart lies, though I do love the idea of promotion, of creating a forward movement around this show. But often my time is otherwise engaged, and I am not the biggest fan of social media nowadays. But I'm getting involved on Blue Sky, so who knows? This could be where this develops further. So thank you so much for being here, for listening to me, for appreciating the work that I do and supporting me and my guests. I hope that if you enjoy the podcast, that you will share it with friends. Please send it as widely as you can. If you haven't yet, please review it on Apple Podcasts. It really does make a difference because it does help people find the show. There is an algorithm at the back there. So again, thank you. If you want to discover some of the other offerings and the new projects that I have going on, then please don't hesitate and click any of the links that you'll see below in the show notes. I appreciate you. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful summer. And I hope that you'll love the upcoming interviews that are about to drop. So thank you and all the best. Until next time, take care.